We're a mile high for the second round of the NIT. Welcome to Boulder, Colorado. The Buffaloes, the 3 seed in this bracket, hosting Utah Valley at the CU Event Center as the WAC champs taking on the Buffs out of the Pac-12. Look at our bracket. The winner will host Cincinnati in the quarterfinals, and for the right to go to Las Vegas Wednesday, it'll either be Cincinnati at Utah Valley or the Bearcats traveling here to Boulder to take on Colorado. Along with former Princeton standout Noah Savage, Roxy Bernstein with you. So welcome to Colorado and 2 teams that won their first round games in different fashions. For Utah Valley, they're the WAC champions. Justin Harmon, a career high 32 as they hammered New Mexico on the road to the pit.
Yeah, and he's just one of their 3 guards that makes him super balanced on the perimeter. 32, kind of the old-fashioned way. Getting into the paint, tough drives. He and Trey Woodbury and Latrey Darthard each average right around 14 points a game, and that makes them so tough.
On the other side for Colorado, the Buffs have been shorthanded down the stretch. But Tad Boyle's team, in search of win number 19 on the year, got a huge boost from the grad transfer from Princeton, Ethan Wright, who really sparked them to a Game 1 win against Seton Hall.
Wait, where's he from? Did you see any good games this week? Did anything big happen?
He's a grad transfer from Princeton.
Oh, yes, okay. So, you know, he was excited. I texted with him a little bit. He talked to those guys down at Princeton. They're fired up. And we saw last game against Seton Hall what he used to do for Princeton, which was knock down the 3 at a high rate, get into the paint, and his penetrating kick in the second half to Tristan Da Silva really got the Buffs offense going in the second half.
School record 26 wins for Utah Valley this year. They were the 7th seed, won 83-69 at New Mexico in the first round, and not many teams come away from the pit with a win, but 11 true road wins for Utah Valley this year.
Yeah, and they're an elite defensive team, especially blocking shots. They block 15% of the possessions. The other teams end up in blocked shots, and it's all about Aziz Bandago, the 7-footer in the middle.
And Justin Harmon on the drive gets the game's first points. And the Wolverines on the scoreboard first. You look at the starting 5. For Tad Boyle, Julian Hammond will come off the bench tonight. He has been starting in place of KJ Simpson at point guard for Colorado as Luke O'Brien goes to work down low to tie the game. As KJ Simpson out with mono, he's missed now the last 5 games. Hammond, because of a violation of team rules, will come off the bench. Ethan Wright making the start.
Yeah, right there, you see what you got to do against a great shot blocker and Aziz Bandago. Get it up on the glass in a hurry.
Nick Clifford pulls up on the baseline, and Clifford, that's a great sign for Tad Boyle because he has struggled recently offensively, and that gives Colorado the lead.
They always want to see the first one go down, and he's been great at creating his own shot. He just hasn't been able to hit it recently.
And we're tied at 4 as Latrey Darthard for Utah Valley.
Yeah, Darthard 65 made 3s this season for the Wolverines, and that sets up his drive.
Tied at 4, Nick Clifford. Luke O'Brien had a career high 14 rebounds against Seton Hall in round 1. As Aziz Bandago clears the miss, the top rebounder along with the top shot blocker in the WAC this year, Bandago, the transfer from Akron.
Yeah, Luke O'Brien really helped them win that game because Casey Ndefo for Seton Hall was kind of taking over with his physicality.
Step back in a 3, Trey Woodbury, who began his college career at UNLV.
He's made 62 threes on the season, just under 40% from deep. And he has no social media. He's an old school guy. He has no Instagram, no Twitter. You want to talk to him, call him on the landline.
Is it one of those dial phones, too, that he's got?
Yeah, you hate when someone had a 9. You know, you'd be like, tick, 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 tick.
Justin Harmon after his shot blocked, and it's 9-4 Utah Valley.
Yeah, they've been really good on the offensive end here early. They play with a lot of balance. And talking to Coach Madsen, they're a group that really loves each other. They have great camaraderie. They have great unselfishness.
Tristan Da Silva, first team all Pac-12 across the key with the left hand on the floater by Da Silva, the native of Germany.
Oh, man. Tristan Abdul-Jabbar across the middle with the left. Pretty.
His older brother Oscar, a former all Pac-12 performer at Stanford. course, the alma mater of the head coach of Utah Valley, Mark Madsen, the Mad Dog, as Trey Woodbury deep 2.
Yeah, they can't miss.
They've made 5 out of 6.
They are working well off the high post, using the pick and roll. Everything going right for Utah Valley.
Nick Clifford. And the rebound, here comes Trey Woodbury for the Wolverines leading the break. Tim Fuller goes baseline. So Utah Valley scores over 77 points per game. Down to 10 to shoot. Justin Harmon, pressure, drives, and the shot deflected and picked up by De Silva for Colorado.
Yeah, just too much length inside for Colorado. You got to look to spray that thing out.
Inside to Lawson Lovering, the 7'1" sophomore. Backs down against Bandego. Up and under, and then forces one up with the left hand, and Lawson Lovering got the roll.
Yeah, a series of pivot moves inside. Looking like Kevin McHale. Around and around he went.
It's like a Pete Newell's big man camp back in the day.
I didn't get that invite, only 6'7", you know?
Nick Clifford the steal. Ahead, Luke O'Brien to the basket.
Yeah, great pass ahead by Nick Clifford. And Luke O'Brien with the up and under, soaring.
It's amazing, we played almost 5 minutes and we've yet to have a whistle.
That's great. I gotta get to a flight, so maybe we'll set an NCAA record.
10 to shoot. Justin Harmon forced back out by De Silva. The lob for Fuller broken up by Lovering, and a steal. It's Tristan De Silva getting it for Colorado.
Yeah, great anticipation by Lawson Lovering.
Up and under De Silva. And that shot changed, and then wrestling the rebound away for Utah Valley was Aziz Bandego.
Yeah, Bandego, 3rd in blocks in the country, 4th in blocks per game. The WAC Defensive Player of the Year.
Utah Valley leads the country in blocks at almost 7 per game. Tim Fuller can't get the tip, and the rebound, Tristan De Silva for the Buffaloes.
A little mismatch there, got to get it to him.
Lawson Lovering squares up for the foul line. Deadens off the heel of the rim.
Yeah, the shot put delivery. They got the switch on the pick and pop, and then they weren't able to get to De Silva on the high-low, and it was a great decision to shoot the ball by Lovering.
First lead for Colorado. Aziz Bandego down low for Utah Valley.
Yeah, they use Aziz Bandego so much at the high post and just kind of run off him again and again, and that time he slipped it down the lane line. Got to that jump hook.
Nick Clifford, here's Ethan Wright, gets the flyby. 3 for Ethan Wright.
I was talking to his former coach, Mitch Henderson, this week down at the NCAA tournament, and he said Ethan Wright plays best when he plays fearless. And early in the season, I think he was just forcing it a little bit. He was worried about proving how good he was, but against Seton Hall, he just played, and he let it fly.
Trey Darthard spinning to the basket and finishes. LaTrey Darthard, the junior from Denton, Texas, first team all WAC, and we're tied.
It gives you about 14 points a game, and they're doing a great job early of reading where the help is for Colorado, and they're driving away from the help.
Lawson Lovering floats it up and in. He already has 6, and I think we have unofficially set an NIT record for the longest consecutive playing time without a whistle. We're at under 12:40 now left in the first half, so we've gone 7:20 without a whistle.
Well, both teams are elite defensively. I mean, Utah Valley held New Mexico to 21% from 3 and 40% from the field. And a big part of being great defensively is just not giving up those dumb fouls.
Aziz Bandego, and he ties the game again.
I mean, we got 2 nominees. You mentioned Pete Newell big man camp. Look, this looks like a clinic inside. We got the shot put delivery, jump hook over the shoulder. Those 2 are going back and forth.
We've blown way past the under 16 media timeout. We're creeping up on the under 12, and we're gonna have them back to back. LaTre Darthard inside, flips it up, won't go, and it goes out of bounds, and we finally have a whistle. 8 minutes and 3 seconds to get our first whistle. Back and forth, Mad Dog and the Wolverines tied at 17 with the Buffs. Tied at 17. Believe it or not, we went 8 minutes and 3 seconds until we got our first whistle as second round NIT matchup. Utah Valley, the WAC champs, and the Colorado Buffaloes. And there is Mark Madsen, fourth year at Utah Valley. He was the WAC Coach of the Year this season. And former assistant at Stanford as well as the Lakers, played in the NBA, won a couple of NBA titles with the Lakers. And the Mad Dog, as you look at the hoop scoop and where he has been, and already voted into the Stanford Hall of Fame for his great career, part of the Final Four team for the Cardinal back in 1998. And Mark Madsen was the kind of guy that when you played against him, Noah, look, he was tough, hard-nosed, physical. He might beat you up a little bit and then pop you in the nose, and he could. Look, Mark broke your nose.
Yeah.
He'd be the first guy to run over and help you clean up the blood with it. He'd run and get a towel and say, "I'm sorry." That's who Mark was.
Yeah, and he's a great guy, and he's accomplished so much in his life. In addition to winning the championship with the Lakers, and of course that viral dance move. Now, he is asked constantly to do the dance for TikTok, and he said he'll do it when they make the NCAA tournament, and that's what he said is the line. Now, he went back to Stanford, he got his MBA, he did a Mormon mission in Spain, so he's actually fluent in Spanish. And he's got his team playing at an incredibly high level, especially on the defensive end, and really created a great culture. He's a player's coach.
And he and his wife are expecting their fourth child literally any day now. I believe Mark's and his wife's due date is next Friday. As Julian Hammond missing a 3, and the rebound Trey Woodbury for Utah Valley.
Well, they're going to have to drop back into the zone with the 4-on-2. That's a lot. That's a mismatch.
And all of them will be under 6.
Yeah.
Luckily, his parents and his wife's parents live close. Is Utah Valley in Orem, Utah, just down the road from BYU. And I do believe that BYU and Utah Valley, as we have 5 on the shot clock. Trey Woodbury down the lane, throws it high off the window and in. And Utah Valley with the lead, but I do believe that Utah Valley and BYU are the closest in proximity Division I schools to one another. They are 3.4 miles apart.
Yeah, and they're another great program in that state. I mean, BYU is always so solid, and what you're seeing out of Trey Woodbury is he's more than just a shooter. That was a spectacular finish with the left hand.
How about Lawson Lovering?
Yeah.
He averages 4.5 points a game. He already has 8, and we're tied at 19.
Yeah, he's got a ton of upside at 7-1. Mom and dad both played at a high level. Mom, Lynn Fox, played at Fresno State. Dad played at Colorado Christian. His name's Christian. He didn't play at Colorado Christian, and they're not going to miss tonight, Roxy. They are not going to miss.
10 already, a couple of threes for Trey Woodbury, and a 3-point lead for Utah Valley. We've had 5 ties, 6 lead changes already, and Lawson Lovering slips to the basket. Lovering in double figures for just the 3rd time this season, and it's in the first 10-plus minutes of this game.
And it's against another 7-footer who's on the bench currently, but he's had great minutes against Aziz Bandago, and that time Julian Hammond comes in the game and immediately makes his presence felt with a great pass.
We were here for round 1, Noah, in Seton Hall in Colorado, and both teams shot it horribly in that game.
Yes.
Utah Valley's hovering at 60%. Colorado's at 62.5%. And Julian Hammond called for a travel and a turnover committed by Colorado. Yeah, tight one in round 2 of the NIT.
A little too much shuffling, the little waltz along the baseline, but right here, great pick and roll action inside. He slipped it, threw it down. Lawson Lovering is dominating for the Buffs. Utah Valley's up 1 on Colorado, but Lawson Lovering trying to keep his team in it. A series of fakes inside. The spin move. He's been active on the defensive end at 7-1. And then, hey, if you're going to leave him, he'll drop it in. Gorgeous looking stroke from the free throw line. He's been good, and he's finding the spots where he's open. And when you have a young 7-footer, you want him to be aggressive like that, rolling, slips the screen, and throws it down. He's just getting better and better.
Both teams getting it done inside, as we've had a total of 43 points here in the first 11 minutes and 21 seconds of this game. 30 of the 43 combined have come in the lane.
Yeah, and the shooting percentages have been spectacular. Colorado 62%, Utah Valley 58%. Nothing like when we start off a game and we say these are two great defensive teams and nobody can get a stop. Nobody's missing.
They should have watched the first round game between Colorado and Seton Hall if they wanted to see misses.
Yeah, Colorado got all the misses out against Seton Hall, I think.
In that game, it took Colorado a little while to get going. In the first half, it was a little slow. As you mentioned, Ethan Wright really sparked them. But they held Seton Hall to 37%, but it came down to the wire. Seton Hall had one last shot at it. As a three nailed by Taj Small, and it's 25-21 UVU.
Yeah, Taj Small, another guy who can get up, really fly, athletic. That time stepped into a wide open three.
He's on his third stop. He began his college career at Troy, then played for Tarleton, which is also in the WAC, and now playing for Utah Valley. So we've had a combined 21 made field goals, make it 22 combined made field goals, and only 13 total rebounds in this game is Julian Hammond to make. Aziz Bandango tries to throw it down, and it pops out. Nick Clifford in transition. Clifford, the runner, rattles in. Tie game.
Clifford playing great early, and Taj Bandango was trying to go showtime. He was going SportsCenter top 10 right there, and somehow brick that dunk.
Will it make the not top 10 now?
It's possible. I had a teammate on the not top 10, and he got it from us for weeks and weeks.
Yeah, that's not the top 10 you want to be a part of. Tied at 25, Colorado, Utah Valley, round 2 of the NIT. The winner gets Cincinnati in the quarterfinals. The winner of this game will host the Bearcats on Wednesday. But so far, it's been back and forth. Tad Boyle's team is the all-time winningest coach in Colorado history. In fact, he has 9 of Colorado's 13 all-time 20-win seasons. But as a player, Noah, when you see the pace that we've had, limited whistles, we've had 1 foul called in the first 12 minutes and 26 seconds of this game. As a player, do you like this?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, you love that there's no stoppages, and as we're in the spring here, we're in the early spring, that it feels like pickup. You know, it feels like you come down every day, you just play pickup, play loose and free, and both teams are just scoring at a great level, and they're making open shots, but they're making shots like that aren't open. And what I'm sensing is just two teams playing with joy and playing with freedom.
Justin Harmon gives Utah Valley the lead again. Colorado is 12 for 18 as Ethan Wright swatted by Aziz Bandango.
There it is. That's kind of what we've been waiting for. He's just lurking.
Ethan Wright missing that 3. Loco Bryant on the weak side.
Yeah, he just relocated to the right block and was able to put in an easy one, but on the Ethan Wright drive, you can't go up with space in between yourself and Aziz Bandango. You got to either get in his body or kick it out to somebody else.
Luke O'Brien hustling over, gets the steal.
Yeah, so now Utah Valley's got to make the adjustment on the post entry.
Luke O'Brien attacks Aziz Bandango.
They went right at him and just went over the top.
Right back the other way. Taj Small has it knocked out of bounds, and it's a Utah Valley basketball.
Oh man, if you're playing against an elite shot blocker, you can't leave that space, because then he's going to be able to time it up. And I thought he was going to get a second one there on the break, but Luke O'Brien went right over the top. And right there, 5 different scores for Utah Valley, 6 for Colorado. Great balance.
And it's not De Silva and Hammond getting it done for the Buffs. It's Lawson, Lovering, and Luke O'Brien. As it gets deflected out near midcourt, it stays with Utah Valley. As Colorado in the NIT for the 2nd straight year and the 2nd all-time appearance in the NIT for Utah Valley. Their only previous time in the NIT they lost back in 2014, first round to Cal. That was Mike Montgomery's last season as the head coach of the Golden Bears. As the miss from Justin Harmon as Mike retired after that season. Cal lost in the quarterfinals. The NIT is Jalen Gabadon has his shot changed, and here comes Utah Valley.
I think it was LaTrey Darthard who got it first, and then Aziz got it inside on the ricochet.
Ethan Potter. And the push shot from Potter. Bandago on the offensive rebound. Couldn't control it. And here comes Colorado and Julian Hammond. The drop off. Lawson Lovering blocked by Ethan Potter. But a foul called against Utah Valley.
Yeah, what a rejection by Ethan Potter at 6'8", the freshman from Layton, Utah. Look, right here, this is a dunk usually, and that's a 6'8" on 7-footer up top. Return to sender.
First on Potter. These are the first free throws of the night. And it rolls in. Lawson Lovering, who's only a 41% foul shooter, has 11 points.
Now they called that foul on Ethan Potter?
They did.
How's that possible? It was a great block.
There was a whistle.
Okay, got
it. And they called a foul. Largest lead, by the way, for the Buffs.
Now here's my test with that. We're talking about pickup, okay? Now if you call a foul and pickup and the guys on your own team are like, whoa, man, that might not be it. No, we have a great crew here, but I think they missed that one.
They're a little bored, I think.
Yeah.
Trey Woodbury is short on the three, as they haven't had the opportunity to call many fouls.
Yeah, they're like, why are we even here? Nobody's fouling.
Hammond. Pretty move by Julian Hammond.
Yeah, his decision-making has been great. They set that double ball screen. We saw him with the great dish off the ghosting of it, and that time he went right to the pocket where there was an opening at the free throw line.
On the drive and the lay-in, Aziz Bandago.
Okay.
And that ends a 7-0 Colorado run.
Yeah, we're seeing a little ball handling from the spectacular shot blocker. Great drive.
The WAC Defensive Player of the Year and the Newcomer of the Year. Julian Hammond rattles out. The rebound falls to Trey Woodbury for the Wolverines. Transition three. Too strong from LaTrey Darthard. Now Colorado controls.
But they're so good at that. That little pass ahead.
Nice save. No, he's on the end line. Tristan De Silva was out of bounds.
For Utah Valley, one of the great things about them is that they never have the ball stick, but they might be finding an even another dimension from Aziz Bandago. Spin move, palm it, looking like Dr. J. The float finish. Really spectacular move for the 7-footer, but a lot of guards like the ball sticks when they bring it up. With these guards, they snap it ahead, and you never know where the attack is coming from.
Ethan Potter nails the three. Another tie here in Boulder.
It was a great decision by Trey Woodbury. Saw the defender stepped up the lane line, snapped the chest pass to Potter in the corner.
Ethan Potter's first made three-pointer of the season. Too strong from Lawson Lovering, and he fights for the rebound with Potter, and the arrow belongs to Colorado.
And Colorado cooling off a little bit. That push shot we saw him make in the first part of the first half, but we got another good one in the NIT. Locked up here in Boulder, Utah Valley and Colorado.
Tied at 32, 3:41 left first half, second round of the NIT. The winner of this game will host Cincinnati Bearcats in the quarterfinals of the NIT in a good pace and a good start. And the big man has been a factor all season, Aziz Bandago for Utah Valley.
He's really known for his shot blocking, but he's done a great job to find the soft spots in the defense and then attack and get where he wants to go. Remember, he started his career at Akron after being part of the NBA Academy Africa, and in 2018, he played in the showcase for the G League and had 6 blocks in that game and kind of burst on the scene.
And he barely played at Akron.
Yeah.
And he went in the portal, so as soon as he went in the portal, he already had a little bit of a relationship with Mark Madsen. And so Mad Dog flew to Akron to have lunch with him off campus, you know, away from any speculation, even though it's completely legal, you know, you're in the transfer portal. But then Mark actually flew to Senegal to meet with Aziz's parents, and that solidified Aziz Bandago transferring to Utah Valley.
Yeah, and he was just not getting a lot of minutes because they had Enrique Freeman and Akron, who's a Conference Player of the Year type and NBA prospect, and Ethan Wright picking it up.
Second three for Ethan Wright. Colorado's made 10 or more threes in each of the last 2 games. In fact, the Buffs are 20 for 41 from 3 the last 2. The quarterfinal loss of the Pac-12 tournament to UCLA and the win against Seton Hall. But they had only made 10 or more threes 3 times previous to the last 2 games, and an answer from Ethan Potter for Utah Valley.
His second 3 of the season. He just wants the bright lights to come on before he starts launching.
So he goes all season without making a 3, then he's hit 2 here tonight against Colorado. Tristan De Silva's it poked away. Here comes Latrey Darthard. Runs over Hammond off. No, they called a block. Blocking foul on Julian Hammond of Colorado.
I think they got it right. Julian Hammond backpedaling. You can be moving, but you got to be in legal guarding, and he is not in legal guarding position. It's a good call with the block, and Utah Valley did a great job to recognize they had about a 5-on-3 break, and they really sprinted and filled all the lanes.
Darthard has it knocked away. Ethan Wright tied up on the floor, and the arrow belongs to Utah Valley.
Yep, they're fighting. They want to keep going. They want to keep this senior campaign alive, especially Ethan Wright and Jalen Gavinon, the 2 grad transfers. And I talked to him and he said it's a great experience. They want to keep playing and prolong the time with this group. And he said they don't feel any pressure. They're just playing incredibly loose.
Second straight year in the NIT for Colorado, and they won this tournament way back in 1940. Their only championship. They made the semis in 2011. Justin Harmon from the corner, and a 3. 9 for Harmon. That's 6 threes for Utah Valley.
The spacing's been great for them. They are really using every inch of the half court to spread out Colorado's defense, and he's picking up right where he left off. It's one of those 3 guards that gives you about 13 points a game, just under 3 assists.
Already our 8th lead change. We've had 9 ties. And a 3-point lead for Utah Valley. Approaching 2 minutes to go in the first half, and both teams have shot it well here in the first half of the second round NIT matchup. The floater rolls around and pops out for Latrey Darthard. Out of bounds, it belongs to the Buffaloes. NCAA Men's Basketball Championship second round continues on TBS and TNT. For more information on tournament game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. Luke O'Brien into the lane. It's been a quiet first half for Tristan De Silva. And the rebound gathered by Nick Clifford. Luke O'Brien launching a 3. And the rebound, Justin Harmon for UVU.
Yeah, Tristan De Silva really plays at his own pace, and you can't really speed him up. But I like what he did there. He has been a little quiet. He just tried to assert himself.
Trey Darthard, and a whistle, and a foul committed by Colorado. And that's the second on De Silva with 1:14 left in the half. Only the 13th foul against Colorado.
Yeah, tough one there. He's just sliding out on the show. And I think Utah Valley was about to turn that over. That was just a blind pass to nobody.
And Utah Valley, by the way, with 1:14 left in the half, they've committed only 1 foul. On the boards, loose, picked up Lawson Lovering, and then he's hogtied as Ethan Potter signaling to Tommy Nunez, hey, jump ball, and Tommy's like, no.
Yeah, jump ball plus the entire arm. So little foul inside, but Lawson Lovering again playing tough, and with big guys especially, they get much better between the age of 20 and 25. Every year they get better.
The use it or lose it timeout for Tad Boyle and the Buffs. We'll be back in 30. Third straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to NCAA.com. You're home for all 90 NCAA championships. Second round continues into tomorrow in the women's bracket. And then next weekend, the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. Now mixing in a zone, Mad Dog in Utah Valley.
Now this is interesting, because they've done so well defensively in this half so far.
Ethan Wright, three. Tie game again. Third three for Ethan Wright.
Great penetrating pass. They got it back out, and they got a 2-on-1 on the right side.
Justin Harmon, forced out by NIT Clifford. Penetrates, draws contact, offensive foul on Harmon.
Great play by NIT Clifford, who had a 5-inch growth spurt between his sophomore and junior year of high school. Right there, slid right in front. Great call. NIT Clifford can do so much at 6'6", and those guys who played as guards and then grew always are so dynamic in terms of their guard skills they bring, even with the height.
And the name Neek, his dad was a big Dominique Wilkins fan.
Love Neek.
Came from
Gatorade Player of the Year in the state.
2-second differential, shot clock and half clock. Julian Hammond. Somehow gets the fadeaway off. Luke O'Brien can't get it off in time, and we're tied at halftime. Tied at 38. There was the effect of Bandego down low. Julian Hammond's all of a sudden, oh, there's the shot blocker. I got nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's been an offensive clinic for two teams that are known a little bit more for their defense. Utah Valley with 6 different scores. Colorado with 6. Sharing the basketball. It's got a great up and down pickup game like atmosphere, and these teams are playing hard. They want to get to the next level and host Cincinnati.
10 ties, 8 lead changes. We're tied at halftime, Utah Valley and Colorado. Halftime report coming up next. And Colorado tied at 38. Fun first half. Second round of the NIT from Boulder. Second half and more straight ahead. Good ball game, though, here in Colorado. Getting ready for the start of the second half here in Boulder. Here is the NIT bracket. The other half, Oklahoma State, Texas, or North Texas, I should say. That's Tuesday. Also, Oregon hosting Wisconsin Tuesday night on ESPN. And then you flip over to this half of the bracket. Cincinnati awaiting our winner as the Bearcats won at Hofstra. And then UAB Vandy Wednesday preceding the winner of our game, hosting Cincinnati to round out the Final Four of the NIT headed to the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Cincinnati has a familiar face to some who followed Memphis a couple years ago. Landers Nolly started his career at Virginia Tech. He's excellent for Cincinnati, and they did a great job against Hofstra. In the second half, they held them to just 31% shooting. So they really took care of business in that second half on the defensive end.
Utah Valley shot 52% in the first half, Colorado 55%. The Wolverines were 6 of 11 outside the arc. They did not shoot a free throw in the first half as Tristan De Silva the miss, and the rebound Aziz Bandego for Utah Valley. Colorado 3 for 8 from distance in the first half, shot again 55%. They only shot 2 free throws. It was a relatively whistle-free first half.
And you see Coach Tab Boyle just wanted to go right in to Tristan De Silva to try to get him going.
Trey Darthard has his 3 blocked by Ethan Wright. And the grad transfer from Princeton lost control. And the loose ball picked up by Aziz Bandego for Utah Valley.
Yeah, Ethan Wright can really jump, and a rare good play to block a 3-point shot. That's a risky play, but he's able to do it.
Bandego tries to ram it home, and it crawls over the front edge of the rim. And Utah Valley takes the lead.
He really played a great first half, other than that 2-hand jam where he tried to electrify all his fans and really point it back out to half court. But other than that, he was perfect.
You know, most teams coming in here, Noah, as a transition 3 by Justin Harmon. It's Utah Valley matching their largest lead. They've scored the first 5 of the second half. Harmon with 12, but most teams would have at some point hit the wall because of the altitude. Utah Valley's in altitude too, so it won't affect them like it did Seton Hall the other night.
Yeah, and as good as we've talked about the defense, they're number 2 in 2-point percentage in the country. They're 43rd in 3-point percentage in the country. They're an excellent defensive team. I mean, offensive team as well.
5 of the shot clock.
Everything's just easy for them early.
Tristan Da Silva tries to feed a cutting Lawson Lovering, and it's stolen by Tim Fuller for Utah Valley. Hits the side of the backboard, a wild shot from Latrey Darthur. Spin, Tristan Da Silva fumbles it away. Ahead, Trey Woodbury in transition.
Oh. Man, Trey Woodbury at 6'4", off a spectacular bounce pass. What a jam.
And a timeout for Colorado. The first fast break points of the night belong to Trey Woodbury. 7-0 run for Utah Valley to start the second half. 30-second timeout, Colorado.
Yeah, Trey Woodbury out on the break. Explosive.
.45-38, Utah Valley, a 7-0 run out of the locker room to start the second half. And Trey Woodbury here in recent games has really caught fire for Utah Valley.
Yeah, he's an excellent all-around player. He gives you over 4 assists a game. He shoots it at 39% from behind the arc, and we just saw the springs on that kid.
Lawson Lovering, the jump hook, and Lovering is tied a career high 13 points.
He's taking over. He looks like Rick Smits in there. A little jump hook in the paint. Everything easy.
The Duncan Dutchman, Rick Smits. Wow, there's a pull for the past.
I have no idea where that came from. A bolt of lightning said, mention the star from Marist.
Luke O'Brien knocks it away, picked up by Justin Harmon. Latrey Darthur, 3!
And you just see how easy the ball moves. Ball goes out to Trey Woodbury. He's kind of open. He sees an even more open teammate and snaps it to him for the shot.
10-2 Utah Valley to start the second half. Nick Clifford to the basket. Finds Ethan Wright. Hits a 3 for the Buffs.
Yeah, has he been good lately? First against Seton Hall, goes for 18. Been great at finding the open spot and no hesitation on the 3.
Double figures for Ethan Wright for the last 5 games. He had double digits 1 time in the first 30 for Colorado this season. Tim Fuller gets the roll. First points of the night for the transfer from Weber State.
And they call him Roach. At 14-10 against New Mexico, he's really strong. He shoots 58% from the field. That's second in the WAC.
Luke O'Brien spots up in the corner. And the rebound, Justin Harmon for UVU.
And Harmon with the flop, and they don't like that here.
Here's Woodbury. Tried the bounce pass for Fuller. Knocked away. Lawson Lovering picks it up, and Colorado takes it away.
He just kind of telegraphed that. He brought the ball up a little too high.
Just 2 points tonight for Tristan Da Silva. Nick Clifford goes baseline. Lawson Lovering. 15 for Lovering.
I mean, these are pro shots that in the NBA, it's so valuable to make that little push floater. He goes right to the open area and is able to knock it in.
Fade away. Trey Woodbury answers for Utah Valley.
Man, he is a baller. I mean, he is showcasing the whole buffet in terms of his offensive repertoire.
The smorgasbord.
Exactly. It's a dealer's choice. Whatever you want, Roxy. But there's a lot of options, and he's going deep in his bag. Whoa. Close the door.
Lawson Lovering missed everything out of bounds. Utah Valley will have it as the Wolverines. A great start to the second half.
Yeah, how do you get open threes? Great penetration and an excellent pass by Trey Woodbury. Latrey Darthur from the corner. And then Ethan Wright spotting up bottoms. Utah Valley up 7 on Colorado, and a lot of it has to do with that guy, Trey Woodbury, the excellent 6'4" guard for the Wolverines. He's spectacular, just showcasing the whole game, knocking down the three, playmaking, able to find his teammates. Remember, last time out, he almost had a triple-double. 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. He's a huge reason why their offense is so great. He's got all the skills, but he's willing to give the ball up.
First team all WAC this season, Trey Woodbury, 10th in the WAC in scoring, 3rd in assists. And Utah Valley is an interesting story because there's the numbers for recently for Woodbury. They are the WAC champs. They did get the automatic berth from the WAC into the NIT. And Jalen Gabadon in disbelief, thinking it should be a turnover, that it went off Trey Woodbury. Now Tommy Nunez comes in and changes the call. As Tommy Johnson initially said Utah Valley ball, but Tommy Nunez had a better look at it. And it goes over to Colorado to the dismay of Mark Madsen. But Utah Valley, they won the WAC by a game over Sam Houston. But because of a new formula introduced by the WAC this season, which takes the non-conference into account as well, as Lawson Lovering is fouled, will get to the line. And this mathematical formula gave Utah Valley the 2 seed, and Sam Houston was the 1 in the WAC tournament. Even though they won the WAC by a game. And the only head-to-head meeting, Utah Valley beat Sam Houston. But because of this formula, Latrey Darthard was called for the foul, which incorporates the non-conference, and it was just introduced last May by the WAC.
That's crazy, Roxy. That's crazy, right? Because the #1 thing you go to as a player is head-to-head. Did we beat them?
And the record.
Number 2, the record, right? But the ultimate decider, who's a better team, is head-to-head. Now, if it's record, who's #1? But any kind of formula that doesn't figure that out has got something wrong.
Fadeaway, Trey Woodbury again. Colorado's got no answer for Woodbury. He's got 16.
And they've been red hot at the start of both halves. 5 for 6 to start the first half. 5 for 6 to start the second half as well. And he's just showcasing everything it takes to be a great college guard. I mean, he's getting to the mid-range. He shot the 3. He's passing the basketball. And then, oh yeah, highlight dunks too.
Matches the largest lead of the night for Utah Valley. Lawson Lovering.
Yes, sir.
Career high 18 for Lovering.
Yeah, he went over the left shoulder, gave you that move. Then he goes to the counter to the baseline. Beautiful read and touch.
And I get what the thought process is with the WAC, trying to reward teams for scheduling hard the non-conference and reward them. But Utah Valley, your schedules were already set first off, and they played a tough schedule. They won at BYU. They also won at Oregon. They lost to Utah State, who was in the tournament. They lost a tight ball game to Wake Forest. So they played a tough schedule also. But yet, because of that formula, even though they were the conference champs, they were the 2 seed of the tournament. (54-48) Utah Valley leading Colorado in Boulder. 3rd straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com. Your home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Well, these fans want an NIT championship here. We got the bananas, we got the construction workers, we got the people with little sunglasses at night. Great atmosphere here, but they got to do something about Trey Woodbury. I mean, he's a baller, okay? Game, recognized game. That guy, he's shown everything. I can't say enough good things about him. And the thing that's, if you're a young kid watching at home, and you're going, how good do you have to play D1 basketball? Look at him. Tell me what's missing from his game.
Just beat the shot clock, but it missed the shot. Here comes Jalen Gabadon. Julian Hammond in transition for Colorado. Tristan De Silva down the lane. De Silva banks it in with a tough angle right there.
Yeah, through 2 defenders, the hang time, switch to the left hand.
Only 4 for De Silva. The Utah Valley lead is 4. Taj Small down the lane. Turnover by the Wolverines. Julian Hammond, the drop-off. De Silva. Back-to-back buckets and 1 for Tristan De Silva.
If you want to get out in transition, you got to get stops first. Back-to-back stops by the Buffs. Great push by Julian Hammond. The dish inside. And the hang time by Tristan Da Silva, who is projected to be a second-round pick in the 2024 NBA draft. And you're seeing why. It's 6'9", the great hands, and the finish, and one.
Third foul on Ethan Potter. And Da Silva to the line, 75% from the stripe. First team all Pac-12 for Da Silva. 6th in the conference in scoring, averaging 16 a game this year.
I asked Ethan Wright who the best one-on-one player on the team was, and he goes, it's got to be Tristan Da Silva. He's got elite footwork, the pump fake, and you add that with being 6'9" and being a great shooter. That's going to be a really tough guy to defend at any level.
7-0 Colorado run to get within one. Aziz Bandaogo back in the game for Utah Valley. Justin Harmon. Blaze Neal trying to turn the corner. 5 to shoot. Tough fadeaway by Neal. The rebound pop free. And it's Ethan Wright chasing it down. Wright looks to attack. Finds Jalen Gabadon. And Aziz Bandaogo had it knocked away. And here comes Justin Harmon for Utah Valley.
A good decision by Wright. He didn't charge. Skipped it over to Jalen Gabadon. He got a good shot.
Taj Small. And the rebound popped out to Blaze Neal. Fresh 20 for the Wolverines. There's a mismatch with Bandaogo watched by Gabadon. Launches a 3 with the shot clock rolling down. He has made 4 this year. Utah Valley's missed their last 4. Colorado looking to reclaim the lead here. They've not led since the first half.
And Tristan Da Silva's got Bandaogo on him. Got to take advantage, take him outside.
And an errant pass and a turnover by Colorado, and Julian Hammond frustrated with himself knowing he made a poor pass.
And I thought Tristan Da Silva should have just went to that mismatch. Instead, he set a pick. He got the switch to get Blaze Neal on him, but I like him taking Aziz Bandaogo outside.
And a foul before the shot on the drive as Justin Harmon was bumped by Jalen Gabadon. 10:46 to go, second round of the NIT. Cincinnati awaits the winner in the quarters. With Noah Savage and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein with you. Boulder, Colorado, 1-point lead. Utah Valley over the Buffs, second round of the NIT. And Noah, before the Seton Hall game in round 1, you and I talked to Tad Boyle, and what he was hoping to get out of the NIT was use it as a springboard into next season. Colorado is set up to have a great core next year in nucleus. You bring back KJ Simpson, who is out with mono, who has been their standout guard all season, second team all Pac-12. Tristan Da Silva's a junior. Julian Hammond's a sophomore. Lawson Lovering's a sophomore. So this core, and you're going to add to it one of the top incoming recruits in college basketball. Cody Williams, the younger brother of Jalen Williams, is now with Oklahoma City in the NBA. Was a first-round pick out of Santa Clara last year. As a strong finish by Justin Harmon to put Utah Valley up 3. But Cody Williams, Paul Biancardi, ESPN's national recruiting director, has Cody Williams out of Gilbert, Arizona, ranked number 6 overall of his top 100 prospects coming in next year. The McDonald's All-American with the core as Tristan Da Silva bumped and won for Da Silva. But Tad Boyle's really poised to use this into next year where he's got a great team coming back.
Yeah, no doubt. And, you know, there's been a lot of pros from Colorado going all the way back to Chauncey Billups, and this guy Tristan Da Silva is hoping to make that leap soon. Cody Williams, number 6, as you noted. Now, that's a huge get for Colorado. Number 1 recruit Justin Edwards, number 2 DJ Wagner, and number 4 Aaron Bradshaw are all going to Kentucky. Just to give you an idea of where some of those other top guys are going, but to get one of them to come here you've got a great chance to develop as a player. He sent Alec Burks recently. Spencer Dinwiddie's having a great pro career.
Derek White. Andre Robertson recently. McKinley Wright. Aziz Bandaogo. How about that move in the post?
A little dream shake. He's trying to showcase for the pro scouts. Yeah, baby. Little shake to the base, fade away to the middle. How good has he been offensively tonight? I mean, he has shown the whole bag.
Tristan da Silva scored the last 8 for Colorado. Trying to go to work inside, triple team. Finds an open Ethan Wright. And the rebound batted free, and it's controlled by Utah Valley. Woodbury and a block on Jalen Gabadon.
Right here, Aziz Bandaogo. Now he's the defensive player of the year in the conference, but this is great. The jab, takes a million dribbles, fake, fade away, drops it in, and he's getting to the point where you just can't guard him one-on-one. I mean, if he's going to do that, you've got to at least dig at him.
Turns middle, and the rebound, Luke O'Brien for Colorado.
A good D inside by Tristan da Silva.
Julian Hammond. Open, Jalen Gabadon. Had a good look. And the rebound, pop free, and here comes Trey Woodbury for Utah Valley. Lays Neal, transition 3. And there's Ethan Wright, skying for the rebound for Colorado.
Again, great pace. The guards are really getting it out, pushing, making good decisions for both teams.
Knocked away by Aziz Bandaogo. This has been a fun game. Pace, back and forth. It's been tight all night.
Yeah, and we're talking NBA, and Trey Woodbury, I don't, why not? He's 6'4", and what he did a second ago, it looks simple, but he's great at getting the ball up the court. He really just gets it out with the pass and the dribble.
Ethan Wright, Lawson Lovering can't clean it up. He does the second time. Tie game, 8:45 to go, and Lawson Lovering demolishing his previous career best. It was 13 earlier this year against USC. He's got 20. Here's Woodbury, and he gets the roll.
And how did that go in? It was partially blocked by Tristan da Silva. But Woodbury again with the great stop and go. He's got excellent burst.
That's a kick. And the ball stays with Colorado.
And Luke O'Brien wanted that real bad to the former Princeton Tiger, Ethan Wright. He knows something about the backdoor cut. But I think that one you got to throw over the top.
Hammond. Way off on the 3. Here comes LaTre Darthard. Tough fadeaway, and it goes. Tim Fuller.
Yeah, really tough shot. I mean, that's that jump hook, but you never really want to shoot that falling away from the basket. Somehow he figured out a way to put that in.
Errant pass just led him too much, and a turnover committed by Colorado as Utah Valley has reclaimed the lead.
Yeah, they're scoring in multiple ways, whether it's with the three-point shot. First to the putback by Lawson Lovering having a career night. And then the answer, Trey Woodbury. Somehow the impossible dream goes in.
Four-point lead for Utah Valley, second round of the NIT. The winner gets Cincinnati on Wednesday. The NCAA Women's Basketball Championship second round continues tomorrow on ESPN with the 4-5 matchup between Texas and Louisville. Also, the 2-seed UConn hosting Baylor at Gamble Pavilion. Every game also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. So the NCAA Women's Hockey Championship won earlier, Wisconsin over Ohio State. And the NCAA Men's Hockey Field announced on ESPNU earlier tonight, right before Oregon ran past Central Florida in the second round of the NIT. And the NCAA Hockey Championship starting on Thursday on ESPN, and all headed toward Tampa in the Frozen Fours. Lawson Lovering, what a night for Lawson Lovering, who averages 4.5 points a game.
He's got one other double-figure scoring game this season. It was back in January at 13 against USC.
Trey Woodbury, deep 3. 7-0 run for Utah Valley.
Man, he's a star. I mean, he really is. He just has the entire bag. Right there's an offensive foul on NIT Clifford.
And they're going to go to the monitor to see if it warrants anything more than a common foul, as Mark Madsen was talking to Tommy Johnson, one of our officials, about it. And again, a common foul, the 6th second-half turnover by Colorado. The second personal on Julian Hammond. And they're checking to see if it should be upgraded to a flagrant 1, which would mean 2 shots for Utah Valley. And they already have the ball because of the offensive foul.
So let's take a look. NIT Clifford. And it's, to me, it's
Clifford, not Hammond, I beg your pardon.
It's barely an offensive foul. It's certainly not a flagrant. So he threw the little chicken wing. That goes uncalled a lot of times in college basketball, but it's an offensive foul. They made the call. It's a correct call. Common foul going the other way. Great job. And a quick review. We got to give them credit for that. They saw it. It was not a flagrant. Boom. Move on.
Tommy Nunez, a terrific veteran official, working with Randy Richardson and Tommy Johnson on this NIT matchup. Tommy Nunez fresh off calling the first 4 in Dayton and was in Sacramento for the first round of the NCAA tournament.
He said he did the first Missouri game and
against Utah State as Luke O'Brien denies Justin Harmon.
What happened in that second Missouri game? I missed that one. What happened?
You didn't miss
pretty
it.
good
You didn't
game
miss
for Princeton.
it.
I don't know.
Stop it. We know you're in the glow of your Princeton Tigers.
Hey, it's exciting.
It is exciting. And it's
16.
What a run by Mitch Henderson in Princeton. Knock off Arizona and then Missouri. Ethan Wright broke it up. Last touch by Utah Valley off of LaTre Darthard.
A nice play by Ethan Wright. That secondary help so important. He dropped down. The Bananas baseline, love it. Coach Madsen's just trying to get out of here with a win. They had 11 road wins this season. That's a ton of road wins. And if you look at that stat across college basketball, some of the best teams are predicted by that road schedule and who can get up to 9, 10, or 11 road wins.
Tristan De Silva steps out and airballs a 3, but it's off of Trey Woodbury, and it stays here with Colorado. And they accidentally reset the shot clock, and they shouldn't have, although. And they are going to review it to see how much time should be on the shot clock here with 6.5 minutes to play. A big week upcoming for Mark Madsen, too, if he can get a win. I mentioned it earlier, but his wife's due any day now with child number 4 for the Madsen family. So she's back in Orem. Or in the area, I should say. I think Mark lives over in Provo.
Yep, his mom and dad are in the stands here tonight.
Yeah.
Check him out.
As if his parents, they are the Madsen parents.
Hey, nice threads. On brand, getting all the colors going.
Dad's locked in. And Mark, who grew up in the Bay Area, over in the San Ramon East Bay area, then went to Stanford. Now that he's settled in Utah, and with his wife's family being from Utah. Mark's parents have relocated. 12 on the shot clock as Ethan Wright on the drive. Ethan Wright, +1.
Yes, sir. You see him knock down the threes earlier in the game. That set up the drive. Catch in the corner. Great rip through, and there's no help. He explodes to the hoop. Bandego a little bit late and 1 for Ethan Wright. Ethan's phone blowing up when the Tigers went to the Sweet 16.
How is he only a 67% foul shooter? I don't understand.
Yeah, you're right. I don't have the answer to that, but you're right. It should be close to 85. He's too good of a shooter for that.
Foul was on Tim Fuller. So a 3-point play for Wright. 4-point lead for the Wolverines. And a foul on the pass committed by the Buffs, and it's on NIT Clifford.
And Trey Woodbury again, he's showing you why he's so good. He stops on a dime, there's a little bit of daylight. He's able to split. And right here, we were talking NBA earlier. How about
Justin Harmon, and an offensive foul on Utah Valley. So Harmon, who had a career-high 32 against New Mexico in the first round, And Mark Madsen urging on his guys after the offensive foul, the second on Harmon. And a good call because the defender was outside, Clifford outside the restricted area.
I think he's moving once he's in the air. I think the offensive player's in the air. I don't know. He was not in the restricted, you're right, but that's tough. He's already been in the air for a second.
Nick Clifford, the fadeaway, way off. And Aziz Bandago, the rebound.
Utah Valley's just got to keep stringing together good offensive possessions, get good shots. They want to get out of here with a victory. Clock's on their side. They can use some clock.
Trey Woodbury feeds a cutting Bandago for the slam.
It's fantastic offensive basketball. Trey Woodbury goes down the lane line, completely under control, read the play beautifully up top. Aziz Bandago.
Tristan De Silva isolated. The spin. There's that footwork you were talking about from Tristan De Silva.
Yeah, and his teammates named after Dominique, and that's a Dominique move there where you pivot back the other way you came from.
Trey Darthard can't get the roll. The rebound knocked out of bounds. And it belongs and stays with Utah Valley.
And Trey Woodbury continuing to play a great game. And he's scoring, and he's also playing great in terms of setting people up. Down the lane line, up top, Aziz Bandago. And he got Lawson Lovering right in no man's land with his eyes before he threw it up.
Darthard. Got it. Tough shot, Latrey Darthard.
Now Colorado's got to get Tristan De Silva involved.
Nick Clifford and a foul. And Aziz Bandago can't believe it.
And it's always an unpopular tweet when the whistle's a little late, but as a player, as long as it's the right call, I never minded this.
And he got him with the buck.
Well, you know, Roxy, I don't know if we know each other well enough for me to disagree, but to me, that's pretty vertical. And that's been a great change that a lot of officials have made. They felt he just floated into him a little bit and got him with the body. But that call 15 years ago was always a foul on the center. And now they've done a good job that sometimes they're actually giving the center a chance to go vertical, but that time they had him covering ground in the air and going into him.
I think he was moving forward a little bit into Clifford. Missed the second. And Bandago the rebound as Clifford only a 53%er. 4:17 remaining. Utah Valley up 5. Under Tad Boyle in this building against non-conference opponents. Colorado is 89-7 in Tad's 13 seasons in Boulder and 7-1 in postseason play, including the win against Seton Hall in round 1. And Trey Woodbury finishes inside.
So tough. I mean, tight quarters. He's operating basically in a phone booth. There's no room there, and he manufactured that shot out of thin air.
Offensive foul, Luke O'Brien.
Yeah, Trey Woodbury takes the charge, and he's just been doing work on the offensive end all night long. Stop on a dime. There's no space there. There's 3 defenders, and he somehow willed that basket in with his offhand. He's a spectacular guard for Utah Valley.
Seven-point lead for Utah Valley. The Wolverines are 3:43 away from hosting Cincinnati in the quarterfinals behind Trey Woodbury, who's got 23 points tonight. And Colorado just doesn't have an answer for Trey Woodbury.
Yeah, he's got 5 rebounds, 6 assists to go along with the 23. And what I love about him is that he's got incredible poise and confidence. And for a guy who's got all the skills, the handle, the shooting, the passing ability, he only uses it when he needs it. And a lot of guys, they just try to showcase. He's out here making great decisions, and he's got all the skills to go with it. And at 6'4". He's incredibly athletic as well.
Began his career at UNLV.
We get him on the naked side here.
And the steal, Lawson Lovering gambling on the backside to come over and help.
At the second time Loverings came over and made a great play from the weak side.
Inside to Lovering, and a foul will get him to the line. And 2 shots coming for Lawson Lovering. And it's crazy tonight. Here's Utah Valley leading by 7 with 3:11 left in the game. They have not shot a free throw. They've made 9 threes. Second foul on Aziz Bandago.
And that was a great pass by Colorado, and they've had 11 assists and 12 turnovers. So they're in the negative, and they've had 7 of the turnovers in the second half. So their decision making hasn't been that sound, but that time that was a great dive by Lawson Lovering. And anybody watching him just tonight will go, this guy's an All-American. I mean, he's been so great tonight in terms of his rolling and catching and keeping his game really simple.
Colorado needs to get some stops, though. Utah Valley will host Cincinnati, and I got to imagine if that's the matchup Wednesday night, Orem is going to be rocking. That building is going to be full as Trey Woodbury does it again for Utah Valley.
And that was pretty good defense by Luke O'Brien. He's 6'8", and he bounced right off him and put it in.
15 of his 25, Woodbury in the second half. Tristan De Silva rattles out a 3, and Trey Woodbury the rebound.
They got to use clock here, get it down to about 15 before they get into their sets. Coach Madsen, tell them to slow it down.
They've equaled their largest lead of the night. The kick out, LaTrey Darthard had an open look at a 3, and Lawson Lovering the rebound.
There's a great screen on the backside by Tim Fuller that got him open.
Hammond. Tristan De Silva, the step back. And the rebound, Trey Woodbury for Utah Valley. 2 minutes to go, the Wolverines in transition. Skipping to the basket, the lay-in, Justin Harmon.
Oh, skip to my Lou, Justin Harmon. Up amongst the trees, his teammates love it on the bench.
Up 10, a minute 45 to go. Ethan Wright had a clean look, and there's Harmon the rebound. And the Chicago native is fouled by Luke O'Brien. 6th on Colorado. The next one puts the Wolverines into the bonus.
But right here's what I mean. The great snap ahead. Woodbury, the ball doesn't stick. And that's a fantastic finish. Justin Harmon with the Euro step in between 3 Colorado defenders. It's just rare you see a guy that's so highly skilled and great, and there's no ego to go along with it. We've seen him chop up the D with his handles, but if there's somebody open ahead of him, he just, boom, snaps it ahead.
So full timeout taken by Utah Valley. Again, a look at our bracket. Cincinnati will travel to the winner of this game. And Utah Valley, who won at New Mexico, is up 10 at Colorado with 1:38 to go. They would host Cincinnati Wednesday night in the quarterfinals. And that is going to be, that building's going to be jumping. They've never had an ESPN national broadcast in Orem at Utah Valley. This is a Utah Valley program that has only been in Division I since the early part of the 2000s, 2003-04. They started as a Division I independent. They moved into the WAC 2013-2014. This year they won their 3rd WAC title. School record 26 wins for Utah Valley. And they've won 2 straight games against Pac-12 teams on the road. One at Oregon earlier this year, who already is in the NIT quarterfinals. Last year they won a game in Seattle against Washington, and they're a minute 38 from coming to Boulder and beating Colorado.
And you got to give a ton of credit to Mark Madsen and the culture he's created. He's a true players coach. You see the trust that these guys have in between them with LaTrey Darthard, Trey Woodbury, and Justin Harmon on perimeter. It's like one symbiotic organism. They really play well together. And you got to credit Mark Madsen with instilling that trust in his players as they go football play out of bounds.
And they have outscored Colorado 17-7.
Oh,
after the game was tied at 58, a steal for Tristan Da Silva. Ethan Wright to the basket. Wright, it rolls in for Ethan Wright. Timeout, Colorado.
That's what he does. Big time hang time. The spin move, sky, and finish by Ethan Wright. And Colorado got exactly what they wanted off that press. A bad pass up to Da Silva. Tristan Da Silva gets it to Ethan Wright. Spin cycle and then just hang in the air for an eternity and drop it in. What a move from Ethan Wright.
And Trey Woodbury just went straight up. That's why no foul was called, even though there was contact. It's probably not going to end this way, but the last time a team won a college basketball game without shooting a free throw, you have to go back to January of 2020. South Alabama won a game without attempting a free throw.
Now, I did cover a game earlier this year where one team didn't shoot a free throw until there were 20 seconds left. Dangerous pass there.
And a foul before the shot. It's on Jalen Gabadon. And it's a good thing I got that little nugget in, because that's the 7th team foul, and now Utah Valley will shoot their first free throw of the night.
There they go. With a lot of trust to throw that down the court to Justin Harmon, as he was wide open. I mean, but he was wide open. He's running out of real estate fast.
1-and-1 for Harmon. 3rd foul on Jalen Gabadon, the grad transfer from Yale, the former Ivy Defensive Player of the Year. Rattles in for Harmon, a 72%er. He now has 17 tonight. After a career best 32 against the Lobos in Albuquerque on Wednesday. Rolls in for Justin Harmon. Back to a 10-point game. Hammond, tough runner. And the rebound batted free out to Luke O'Brien.
Hit Bandango right in the hands.
O'Brien open. And the rebound stripped. Julian Hammond took it away from Bandango, lays it in. And the last time out for Tad Boyle with 1:03 to go.
So Colorado doing the right thing, attacking early, getting the first available shot, and then everybody crashing the boards. And Aziz Bandango, who's had a great game, 2 chances at an offensive rebound. The second one he brought down. The mortal sin of your 7-footer is not to chin that ball and bring it down with those pesky little guards can get it.
The problem for Colorado now, if you're playing the foul game, Utah Valley shoots their free throws collectively at 74%. So that's a problem. They shoot their free throws well, even though we haven't seen, other than the last 2 shot by Harmon, any free throws tonight from Utah Valley. But it's interesting to see Utah Valley in the semifinals of the WAC. In the tournament, they had a 23-point second half lead against Southern Utah, only to see Todd Simon and the Thunderbirds come back and win that game. So they had the automatic bid because they were the WAC champs. Even again, they were the 2 seed in the WAC tournament. But you wonder mentally where they were going to be at after blowing that lead in the WAC semis, not even making the final, and then the heartbreak of not going to the NCAA tournament when you were the best team in the WAC this season. But they responded, played great in Albuquerque, and they played fantastic here tonight in Boulder.
Yeah, and a lot of times those kind of outside stories outside the locker room, you listen to them for a couple days as a player, but at the end of the day, you love to play. And this group loves to play together.
Well, and kneeled on his wallet, gets the timeout before he gets tied up.
And they had Todd Small down the court for the jam, but they couldn't get it to him.
1 timeout left for Utah Valley. Wolverines by 8. 56.8 remaining. And again, the 1-and-1 should Colorado foul, as there have been 7 team fouls committed by the Buffaloes. So the other side of the bracket of the NIT, we mentioned, I'm really looking forward to that Oregon-Wisconsin matchup at Matthew Knight Arena Tuesday night in Eugene. And Oklahoma State will play North Texas as well in another quarterfinal. as Oregon handled Central Florida tonight.
Yeah, I like that Oklahoma State team. Musa Cisse in the middle. Bryce Thompson had 6 threes last time out. They can be really explosive when they hit the three-point shot.
And Latrey Darthard will head to the line for a 1-and-1. He is the top foul shooter in the WAC. 89.9% on the year. First foul on Ethan Wright, so a 1-and-1 for Darthard.
And he's their leading scorer, and he's been somewhat quiet for Utah Valley tonight, but that's just because of how balanced they are. Trey Woodbury averages just under 14 a game. Justin Harmon just under 14, and that's the advantage of being so balanced. It makes you so much tougher to scout when you're not so top heavy on the offensive end.
Back to a 10-point game. Here comes Hammond. Luke O'Brien to the basket, and it's blocked by Aziz Bandago. And a foul, and Utah Valley to the line with 43.7 to go. And the Wolverines can sense it now.
And everybody in the building a little bit stunned, but Aziz Bandago, that's what he does. 3rd in blocks in the country, the WAC Defensive Player of the Year. And he's having a great time with his teammates, enjoying tossing that shot off the glass.
Darthard back to the line. One more for Latrey Darthard, largest lead of the night for Utah Valley, and it rolls in for Darthard. What a second-half performance from Utah Valley. Ethan Wright has that 3 blocked, and it's kicked around, and Utah Valley secures it. And now it doesn't appear Colorado will foul. They'll play this one out the rest of the way. And the Wolverines, Utah Valley will host Cincinnati in the quarterfinals on Wednesday. And Mark Madsen's team coming into Boulder and winning on the road against a Pac-12 team for the 2nd time this season.
It's a fantastic performance, and Trey Woodbury was a star here tonight. They got great balance, great efficiency on the offensive end. They shot 55% as a team, and they've been doing that all season long. 4th in the country in effective field goal percentage according to KenPom. And they're just a well-coached, fun team to watch.
They shoot 56% for the night. Utah Valley makes 9 threes, led by 25 from Trey Woodbury. 27 wins now for Utah Valley as Colorado out in the 2nd round on their home floor of the NIT. And Utah Valley advances to the quarters. Well, they will host Cincinnati. That is going to be some kind of atmosphere in Orem on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's going to be really special for the program. Cincinnati coached by Wes Miller, and they've got a couple stars. Landers now is really good. I mean, he can really do a lot of things in the mid-post, can shoot the 3. He's been in college forever, his 3rd stop, and that's going to be a tough game for Utah Valley. But, man, they're an impressive team, and Trey Woodbury is an impressive player for them.
So Utah Valley advances, and they are now in the final 8 of the NIT. The quarterfinals, well, they will host the Bearcats on Wednesday, and that should be a fun night in Orem, Utah, with 2 good teams going at it. But this Utah Valley team, no, they were impressive tonight coming in here on the road.
Yeah, and I thought the story was going to be the block shots, but really it was the offensive balance. 14 assists on their 33 made field goals. 4 players in double figures, but Trey Woodbury was the star. 25, 7, and 7 for the 6'4" guard.
Win number 27 on the year. The WAC champs advance to the quarters. For Noah Savage and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein saying so long from Boulder, Utah Valley, on to the quarters.